Welcome to another edition of Ask Terri. I have missed y'all, but I'm back. So, we've got some great questions that we're going to ask. I'm going to answer. However, you can't grow if you don't know, and you won't know if you don't ask Terri. So, connect with me. You can connect below at any of the social media links with the Dallas Examiner. Also, you can send an email to askterri.tde@gmail.com. So all of those methods are available for you to connect. So you can send in your questions and we can elevate our communities together. So this month, I'm super excited to have the question asked, and it's around business. I took a little sneak peek, y'all. So let's find out what is the question for this month, and let's answer it and get into it.
Hey Terri, as you know, the small business landscape is ever changing in Dallas-Fort Worth, as it is across the nation. Over the past year, businesses have faced economic challenges such as inflation and rising costs. What tips can you offer entrepreneurs to help their businesses thrive?
That is a great question. And it's got a lot of layers to it because there's obviously no one right answer, but I am going to share some tips. And it's going to be three tips. So, since it's so many tips, we'll do it in two parts. You're not going to get all of me in this one session. You got to break it up and come back for some more. Um, I will say JP Morgan Chase did a 2025 Business Leaders Outlook survey, and 60% of small business leaders are optimistic about the local economy. That's just what the survey said. And it was a 2025 survey. I can't say who the 60% of small businesses were, but they were, right? And they were optimistic. So they're looking at DFW's unique market dynamics because it's going to create both opportunities and challenges for local business owners. But drawing from the data that I have here with JP Morgan Chase, here are three tips that we came up with. One of them is reconnecting with your purpose. Sounds simple, right? Like, Terri, this is not a meditation session. What are you talking about? Reconnecting with my purpose. Well, that applies for your business too. It's not just in our personal mantras, right? We want to reconnect to our purpose with our business as well. In recent conversations with entrepreneurs across several industries, Chase found that business owners with a clear sense of purpose navigate challenges effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. So you know your purpose, your customers know your purpose, and they're loyal to you. So reconnect with your purpose. That's one reason to do that, right? And then your purpose is going to be a guide for your key financial decisions. Whether you're sourcing new raw materials, spending funds, or investing, when you know what your purpose is, that's going to help guide you to make the right decisions. Also, it should be more than just an annual exercise, right? It's not just once a year, I'm going to check in and see what my purpose is. You constantly go back. It's like a keystone, right? You're checking in with yourself, with your business to make sure that you are recalibrating your purpose and understand that because it's going to help you to reveal opportunities for growth and for innovation. And it's essential to ensure that you are aligning with your core purpose. Think back to that customer loyalty. Why am I doing what I'm doing here as a business owner? The second tip is mastering your numbers. I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to let that sink in because we know what we know. Sometimes we are not the best with knowing our numbers. If COVID didn't do anything else, it showed us that that was an opportunity for us to dig in and to know our numbers. What are we talking about? So we can know where we need help, right? Also, business owners that focus on driving sales or increasing clientele, that's not helping your business. It does short term, but knowing your numbers is going to more effectively impact and help your business, right? So you don't want to forget about the invoicing or your receivables, making sure you're tracking your payments. All of those things are going to significantly impact your bottom line. I have an example of a client who came to the bank, wanted a loan, said, I need a loan, I don't have enough money. Well, Come to find out, she didn't have enough money because she was putting in her invoicing late to the insurance company, and they didn't pay her for everything that she did because it was outside of their timetable. So she was doing all this work and not getting paid. And she realized she wasn't getting the money she needed, but it wasn't because she needed a loan. It was because she needed to tighten up and know her numbers to understand that my invoicing is not going out on time and I'm not getting paid all the money that I've done work for. So we helped her with that. She was able to buckle up and she was able to start increasing her cash flow, which is another thing. You got to know your cash flow. Check out the cash flow calculator below because that's going to help you navigate and know your money, right? Where and how am I spending money? When am I spending it? So you'll know and be able to navigate when you're making a lot of money in the summertime. Okay, how much of that am I going to need to budget for the wintertime when it's a little more lean, right? I'm not making the same amount of sales, but you've got to be able to forecast and have that information and that knowledge. So if you check below, you'll be able to see that cash flow calculator also. Now, I'm going to recap. We talked about two of the three recommendations that I'm giving, the tips for our entrepreneurs. One is reconnect with your purpose. Why are you doing the business that you're doing? And how are you doing your business? Are you building your customer loyalty because you're true to the purpose of your business? And then two, know your numbers. Do you know your finances? Do you know your financial numbers? Do you know your budget sheet? Do you know your cash flow? All of the things that are going to be really important for you to navigate as an owner. So that's going to be it for this edition. But stay tuned because I'll have tip number 3 on the next session. We'll continue this conversation because if you don't know, you can't grow. And if you don't grow, well, that's not it. You know what it is. You can't grow if you don't know. And you don't know if you don't ask Terri. There we go. We got it together. So check me out again. You can go to any of the social handles below for the Dallas Examiner. Send me your questions. Also, you can send emails to askterri.tde@gmail.com. So until next time, I will see you later with that third tip and a little more information. Talk soon, family.